At what point do we say, okay, cool, like I slightly need to think about myself now?
For this year, I feel like for me, it was the best worst year. That's like literally how I could describe it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, did you ever have the suit?
Yeah, you know.
Oh,
yeah, you know.
days.
No, but that. If I had to describe man in a sentence, I'll say maybe the end of the beginning.
Yo people, it's your way Sam Sinko.
Yo, stacking, when I know.
Yo, this is Capo, and now locked in. This is Still Changing podcast.
I can't lie, 2022 been a decent year. What was that?
How would you, man, like describe it? If you could like put it into like either a short sentence, what your year was.
I remember someone made me do this. I think it was at Boaz's like premiere of his short film, innit?
Oh, that was great, by the way.
You went to that?
Yeah, it was at uni. You left like the day before, or you left on the day, so you couldn't come. I remember.
Where?
Like it was in uni.
No. Where did I go?
Back to ends.
Like, in the summer.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Oh, but you seen it, innit?
It was on Sky, innit?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, man. Shout out Boaz. I think someone was like, oh yeah. I think the activity was like, if you were to describe your 2022 in a way. Goodness. In a way, like what word would it be in it? Yeah. And I think one thing I used was turbulence in it. So it was kind of a thing of like a rocky year, but you know when the landing is coming, so you know that like everything's working out. But then like it's just that there was a point in time where things
shaking.
You get what I'm saying? But yeah, I say that's how I'd still probably describe my 2022 still, like maybe not a sentence, but yeah.
If I had to describe man in a sentence, I'll say maybe the end of the beginning, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So like proper.
That's what it's this on here.
Like proper, just like obviously big endings, obviously with uni and stuff. Then obviously just starting out adult life in it. But at the same time, like yeah, it's basically just the end of phase one type thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's the start of big thing. So yeah, that's how I describe man.
That's fair, to be fair. I feel like I forgot who I was having this conversation with, but like actually might even was it forgot who it was, but one of my brethren anyway. And then I think I was just like, I think either I said it or they said it, but it just made sense. I think for this year, I feel like for me, it was the best worst year. That's like literally how I could describe it. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like I feel like
I hear that.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? It was literally the best worst year. There was times in this year where I was thinking, fam, just take me. I
hear you.
And there's other times that I'm thinking, yo, like life could not get any better. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And it's just like, I feel like the older we get, and as I said, the more I even reflect on years fully. Like even when I was looking back on 2021, I could just sort of see that like, fam, I could also see points in that year where it was like, raw. And points where I was like, fam, this is lit. So I just feel like the more you kind of now start to properly look back on the year and reflect, you're thinking like, I feel like it's a better way to kind of just keep a lot more level-headed when things happen. And I feel like that's obviously why older people are obviously just a lot wiser when it comes to setbacks and stuff like that, because they just know really and truly that's just how it kind of goes, isn't it? It's going to work out. So yeah, for me that's what I'd say.
2022 was tough though, it wasn't easy. It's probably one of the tougher ones still,
bro.
Even just like uni wise,
even
that
just
was
collecting.
Listen, that one day, I don't think I've ever worked that hard for school ever.
Bro.
That uni thing, third year end, I had to graft for that.
That's what I'm saying. Even on my list, I wrote like the grade that I wanted in it, like, to graduate with. I was looking at myself, just thinking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
pat yourself on the
brother,
back.
because that was
all them 7 a.m s, all that.
We were just talking about that as well. Like,
with that extension of exams
like
and
library and all of
Aye.
that before we came. But like I don't know, man. I say another thing 2022 taught me was just basically just be grateful for
proper,
just the little things as well.
Proper.
I think a lot of the time we take advantage of what's directly right in front of us, innit? And I think it's kind of you know what Pastor keeps on saying about Zechariah 4, is it 4:10 or 4:6? Like, don't despise the day of small beginnings. But kind of just thinking about like, fam, bro, like what I have right in front of me, like I genuinely got to be grateful for. So it was even making me think like, do you remember the other day when it was snowing and it was freezing?
Yo, for real, man.
When I got home, I remember because I went out with my boys that day, innit? when I got home after like at like 1 in the morning. I just sat down. And I was just happy I was cold in it, but I was
100%.
happy that I was inside and I was getting warm.
Yeah.
I was thinking, fam, like, bro, like this ain't the situation for everyone every day. Do you get what I'm saying? And it was just small things like that I don't know, maybe like I took a lot of it for granted. And 2022 was making me deep, fam. It's these small things, fam. You just got to be grateful for. So
Yeah.
100%.
Like things that you won't even think about, someone is praying to God for.
Facts.
Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So it's like when you have it, a lot of the times, even with certain things, I'm just even like that's even what I will kind of, or the Holy Spirit will drop in my heart, that I'm kind of just like, kind of need to pan up. Do you know what I mean? Like what things I'm doing or things I just might not be grateful for, I'll just be like, nah, like I need to be still. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because this is actually a blessing. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's also a point on stewardship. Do you know what I mean? And what are you stewarding? How are you stewarding what God has given you? Because like, if somebody didn't have light in their house 24 hours, and you do, not to say that we'll have same 24 hours, whatever, but fam, that extra 6 hours of light, bruv, they could be drugging off because they never had that before. Do you know what I mean? So it's just like, not to be a whatever, but just to kind of be like, to your point, innit, just being grateful still, like practicing gratitude. Like,
I think
it's a big thing still.
even 2022 is like, I think as we're getting older, I think one thing I'm learning is that like just do it, innit, in terms of like nobody's watching you, nobody really cares, everyone's living their own life. So whatever idea you have, whatever passion you have, pursue it and just start it. It doesn't have to be perfect, just do it. Even with this pod, like I just started it. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's moving, just doing it. I'm seeing hella people our age or around our age that are just doing amazing different things because they're just following their passions and they're just doing something. So I'd say that's one thing I'm learning and I'm getting better at. I'm actually just doing it. I'm not looking to the right, to the left. Just start and just do it.
100 still.
That's the thing. I think I forgot where I saw it, what it said specifically, but it was kind of on the vibe of like, don't like either say you're gonna do it or you're not gonna do it. Don't say you're gonna try. And I think that's probably something that I'm gonna try. Well, I'm going to take into 20. You get why it's difficult. Do you get what I'm saying? But what I'm going to take into 2023 in the sense of like, fam, kind of like little baby all in. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
I love baby,
bro. I can't lie. I'm starting to, but like, you just got to choose. You're either in or you're out. Do you remember how you always say as well? Let your yes be your yes and your no be your no. Basically, that same kind of vibe in the sense of, bro, like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And if I say no, I'm going to say no, innit? Yeah. So just because at least I can know that I put my all into this or I didn't do it at all. Do you get what I mean? Not that I tried 50% energy and...
You're going to do 100%.
Yeah, do you get what I'm saying?
100 or nothing.
Do you get what I'm saying? And now it's a lot of what ifs.
100%.
Do you get what I'm saying? So that's why I'm not trying... I'm trying to be a bit more like...
Hey. You're not trying to...
Oh, yeah. No, I'm going to be a bit more. Yeah,
Go on now.
sorry.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a bit more. What's it called? Just firm in where I stand and then firm in finishing what I sought out to do.
100.
Do you get what I mean?
I feel like there's a beauty in that, man. Like there's a few things I've done this year that like in the beginning, it just hasn't been great. It's been a bit crap in it, but literally, I was talking to Akin about even something as simple as driving in it. Just let yourself be a learner. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like you're not gonna be sick at anything. And that's also where it comes down to just not looking to your right and to your left, because you'll see other sick drivers, for example, and you're thinking, 2 lessons I should be doing, one handed. You know what I'm saying?
One finger.
100%, man. It's just not gonna be that. You know what I'm trying to say? So like as we've spoken about, don't despise the small beginners. Like let yourself be a learner, because you'll never like. I remember Drake was talking about it in this, like I think in an interview or something like that. Yeah, and he mentioned that like the first time that somebody says, "Oh, rah, like you're so and so," or whatever, that I love your music, whatever. He said, "Fam, like try and capture that moment sort of thing and just stay there, because you're going to be chasing that every single day after." Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like just in that beginning phase when you're just growing and whatever, like just enjoy that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because you're not going to get that again. After that, it's just going to be like you're kind of made it and you're just trying to sustain, rather than you're growing and you're learning or whatever. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But yeah, I think another thing to add to the thing sort of list as well, kind of we're making, is that I want to
come on
I want to not like stand up, but I want to I was thinking about this literally earlier. it's kind of mad still, but like, I'm gonna say it, but it's not gonna sound as
Yeah,
clean.
no,
innit?
we'll try.
Like, I want to be more like, God almighty. Why is this always happening? No, you know what it is? We need to just even. Anyways,
Don't kill me, bro. I'm like
I want
7.
to. Yeah. Anyways, I'm just gonna say it the way I'm saying it because I can't figure out how to whatever. But I want to like stand up for the faith more. Do you get what I mean? Like, I feel like it's kind of like something I was looking to do a lot more like back in this year, and I've started to do it. But as I've started to do it, there's more ways or more places that I'm like, right, I could have done that in a better way. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So like for example, now I remember I was chatting to some of my boys, and I was just saying about how like I'm not doing a certain thing, sort of thing, innit? And then they were like, raw, like, sort of, why, innit? Because obviously we had previously all just kind of been baking and doing whatever, innit? And I was just like, it's just something I'm just not doing, sort of thing. Like, wanted to, like, obviously come out uni, whatever. Like, I was just moving a bit more serious with other things. I kind of want to leave that. But that could literally be a part where I'm like, I'm just trying to take my Christian walk seriously. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I hear
And that can now just spark, as we talk about
Conversation,
something, different conversations, different questions that God could just use me for. So, you know, whether that's with friends, whether that's with family, whether that's in the workplace, just bringing God up in a lot more places and just giving him his dues, innit? Like, I think even, I remember I was talking to my dad about how one thing I was doing was like improving in it. I was getting quite a bit better at it. But I knew in the back of my mind, I actually wanted to say that I prayed about it before I did it. So I should have been like, I wanted to say, but thank God because you also helped me, sort of thing. Yeah. But I just didn't. I was like, just been get better, sort of thing.
Okay.
So just another place, I was like, no, like, I want to just put God on a lot more. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. Do you know what I mean? Because maybe it is a thing of gratitude or is a thing of just like giving thanks or praise, but I just feel like God deserves too much clout.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I get what you mean. Kind of like, giving God his flowers, basically,
100%.
but like in a more like social setting. So like,
just in
it brings up conversation. And I've seen. Do you know what it is? I've seen it. Like, I remember telling one of my friends, I'm trying to practice, you know, abstinence until marriage, innit? Not celibacy. Please, there's actually.
Fam, I think I said it in Bible study. Yeah. I think I said celibacy in Bible study, and I just dropped in my spirit yesterday. I wanted to even just search which is which. I said, okay, cool. Yeah,
exactly. So abstinence, obviously, if you know, that's waiting until marriage. Celibacy is not having
at all.
Yeah, sex
celibacy can also mean not getting married at all.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, bro, not me. Like, please, God, not me.
You
get what I'm saying? But so just that, and she was like, oh my dude, like, I can't believe you did that. Like, you're trying to do that. Like, just, and then it kind of led to asking questions like why. Then it now leads to a conversation about the faith, and that's when you kind of realize that, fam, this is why you kind of need to have these kind of conversations. This is why you kind of need to be a bit bold about where you stand in Christ, because then it allows for these conversations, then it allows for more questions, then it could possibly allow for changes in XYZ, especially sometimes when you know that, like, I say it's good, but like some people, like, you'll see where I'm trying to go. Like, when you do something and you reap the blessings from it, you can now testify as to like what God has done in it, and that can also in a way incite people to kind of come along that kind of path as well. Like, obviously some people, you may come for the testimony, but you stay for the relationship. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, cool, that's what brings you initially, but that's like, so you may see, cool, I prayed and I fasted for, I don't know, this job. Okay, cool, I want this job, maybe this kind of, I want a good job, maybe I should try pray and fast. But then you get the revelation of who God is as a whole. Do you get what I'm saying? So now you're rooted there. Do you get? But that's all from kind of being bold in how we kind of talk about kind of our faith and just not being afraid to kind of bring up the conversation. So it's kind of like boldness in it, and then conversations where you feel like you don't want to be the Christian dude or all right. God again. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, but it's just like sometimes, bro. Just gotta charge it.
Literally, fam. Do you care? Like, that's actually just who I am, sort of thing, and just riding with that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Because, like, in any sort of characteristic or personality, like, if I know someone as like them to be, like, I don't know, a loud person, not for a time that I might meet them, they might just not be as loud because I'm just used to that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Same way if I know someone to just be like, this is what I stand for, or they're always saying that Messi's the GOAT, innit? For example, like, after a while I'm gonna understand.
This guy's giving you side that.
I should just sort of allow them you know what I'm saying, God to sort of just bless them and to just touch their heart. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Deliver them from any madness in Jesus' name.
Yeah, man, Holy Spirit is speaking through you, man. Just keep flowing, bro.
But yeah, man, you got anything you're trying to aim for?
What do you mean? In what sense?
Any sense?
For
For the new year? Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think. Nah, you know, not right. Well, it's written down in it, but obviously off the top of my head, I can't really remember. But yeah,
I remember. This is one that I keep on trying to show the ankle for, innit. If she listens, innit, shame on you. But yeah, just she was like, her thing is kind of like just learning how to say no, innit. So remember we spoke about it in Bible, so like just like a lot of the time, because I think it's kind of interesting, because I think the kind of the issue that that sometimes we have with kind of learning how to say no is like, as a Christian, when do you kind of like stop being like, I'm not saying the word is kind, but like putting yourself first.
100%. I thought about it a lot.
Do you get what I mean? Because it's like let's be real, yeah. You can say like, obviously as a Christian, oh yeah, sacrifice, love is sacrificial, you know, wash like wash their feet, cool. But like, at what point do we say, okay, cool, like I slightly need to think about myself now? Like, at what point is that, or is like, because it's like, fam, like you're thinking I can't come and kill myself, but then at the end of the day, they're mad. You know, I think what I'm saying.
I think what's it called? In that situation, it's about wisdom, innit? So I think it says in the Bible where I think they were evangelizing. It's like, you should go to the city, but if they reject you, just what's it called? Wipe the dust off your feet and move on, type thing. So I think in that sense, it's like, you can try and help someone as much as you can, but if they're repelling you bare, or like if it just doesn't make sense going further, well, I say this very vaguely, but if it doesn't make sense going further, like you're actually just not going anywhere. Okay. Just, like, put yourself first and just move on, type thing. I think it's something like that.
I think as well, yeah. Because I remember like one time I was proper thinking about this as well, because it's almost like you can be a Christian sort of thing, but I don't want to be a doormat. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And so I feel like there are some. I feel like you could kind of implement certain like thought filters or thought barriers that I think like at least kind of help me understand it a bit better. So like, one, for example, anything that obviously goes against your faith in it, for example, very key one, like you can be nice and still do it, and you know, like let's say somebody asked you to I don't want to use a left example, but just do something that maybe go against your faith. And let's say that you had to help somebody, I don't know, write something that was like, I don't know, like sexual or something like that, for example. Yeah, like you could be like, okay, cool, like, you know, unless it was like fornication, not just between two married people, innit? You could be like, okay, cool, that's not really for me. I can still do it because I can be nice and help you out, whatever, but I'm just not going to do that. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's just one, something that goes in your face. Two, I think as well, like, I think self-respect is also very key in it. Like, God says that in the Bible, it says that sort of our body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So that obviously sort of elicits that we ourselves should respect our bodies. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Respect our minds. So in the same way, if we're going to respect ourselves, there's certain things that we can still do because we're nice, but out of self-respect, you might just say, you know, is like there's also a nice way to say no. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like, yeah, those two things at least, respecting ourselves, loving ourselves as well, as we spoke about on the pod, like before I can love others to a certain degree, before I can love others fully, I need to love myself as well. So that's not to say that I might put myself before at all occasions, but as I can say, there are some occasions where it is in my best interest for myself first in this case. So you can be nice and whatever, but I also don't feel like we need to hold ourselves or be on the flip side. You know, you can do the whole, we were talking about this one time, like humility, like false humility sort of thing, where you're like, you're just being humble to like maybe try and be the humblest of them all, or just to try and like kind of shy away from what's really going on, even though you should kind of be like championing it. In the same way, I feel like being nice, you can just try and make it a thing that, I'm just being bare nice on that. You're not really doing that out of the kindness of your heart. You're literally just trying to be nice to be nice. I feel like that's almost sort of as wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, to hold yourself to a certain way. But yeah, I feel like, no, 100% saying no is key still. But I do hear the point.
So, okay, cool. So, let's say for you, man, now, like, let's say you serve in church now, yeah? And you know, I don't know, let's say work's doing you up now. Like, you know, like, work is moving techie already. Let's say you do technical team, and you know, like, technical team, sometimes it's a bit techie or whatever. church wants you to do something, and like, let's say, like, how do you? So, kind of going against your the opposite of what you were saying. If it's something that's against God, it's very easy to say no.
Yeah.
But let's say this is for God, but you know that, fam, what you're doing right now, like, you're not sure if you have the capacity to, innit? But you know, sometimes you have that kind of thing in your head, like, fam, this is for God. Like, how can I really say no?
Yeah.
But you're just like, bro, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to do this, innit? So how do you, like, in that kind of situation, how do you actually say no? Because I feel like it's those kind of situations where you feel like it's like you're obliged to say yes.
Yeah.
So saying no feels like a crime, but like, you know that it's for the betterment of you and everything that's going on right now to say no. How do you say no? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, how do you kind of maneuver in that kind of situation? Because I feel like that's why, like, 2023 is, it's kind of about having these kind of tough conversations and having these kind of tough things to get the outcome that you really want.
I feel like it comes down to the guilt thing I mentioned though. Like, I feel like a lot of times guilt can be a thing where, like, it's one of the worst things because nobody has to carry it for you. You're just carrying it by yourself, innit? That I just feel guilty that I said no, I feel guilty that I did this or whatever. Like, to that specific point, so if it was me, I would look at one, like, I think everybody knows, like, for example, everybody has had an experience of working at overcapacity, right? Whether it's uni, whether you had a side job and you were doing something, like, everyone's had an experience of doing that. So I feel like to an extent, you can kind of look at, is this 10% over my capacity, 20%, 30%, if we're just going to give a number to it, innit?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like personally, if it was something that it's not just about waking up early and sleep, like, because those are things that I might be able to give up, right? If it was, I feel like maybe prolonged, to the sense that I feel like maybe 2-3 weeks, it might be something that I think is unbearable, or things might be a bit too tight, not just that, I need to leave this and get there, but I'm going to be late once I leave here to go somewhere else or something like that. I would just have to be like, I think I'm going to say no. How to say no in that situation as well, I feel like these are the kind of situations where you see good management. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, if you have a coach, let's say you're playing football, there's certain things you should be able to say to your coach, like, coach, I'll be real, I'm struggling with this, and you should see a coach step up, not just as a coach, but almost kind of like as a man manager, as a a superior, if
I get what you mean.
case. So in church as well, how better replace it to be like, yo, uncle, auntie, this is kind of going on or whatever. Like, and also kind of thinking 2 steps ahead that, okay, cool, I know this team is techie. Can I ask brother Toba, can you carry me for just 2 weeks? So maybe take my place for 2 weeks, and I might get you back after 2 weeks when my thing's a bit more. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Thinking about it in that way to, like, sort of. So not, and even that, I want to caveat that, because it's not always that when you say no, you have to figure out how to make it easy for the other person. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that's also kind of sometimes can be a guilt thing. Not always, because I think sometimes it should be done, but if you're saying no, like, just let it be, whatever. I feel like sometimes, particularly, like, let's say you're done managing that, it's not finding someone just kind of going around, it's right, like, just say I can't do it, my apologies, I'll hit you back then, and we'll just keep it moving in it. But I think being straight to the point, and to your point, decisiveness as well. If you come in dilly-dallying on the noting, you'll end up saying yes and you'll walk out annoyed.
Well, yeah, that's facts. So, what do you think?
It's honesty. I think honesty is always the best policy. So if you know in your heart of hearts you can't do it, and you pray and you're like, I actually cannot do this, then I feel like if you come on an honest approach, as long as you're humble with it, you're kind with it, and you say your honesty, no one can hold that against you. Whether they're angry or not, then if they don't have understanding, then that's their own. If you're honest about, you're not lying. Just being good, you get what I'm saying? But at the same time, if maybe if it's for church, it's for God, in it. So if there is maybe something in your personal life that maybe, like, you feel compelled to help the church, and you might be able to drop out in your personal life, whether it might be take a little less shifts here and there, or maybe drop this out to the side, or kind of decrease your level of work there, then maybe you can think about it. But if it's something you can't do, then just be honest about it. I don't think there's a problem with that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, nah. I think it's facts. I don't know. Like, I was just thinking, fam, like, bruv, you can't let this the faith kind of allow you to be someone who's, like, kind of the whole doormat thing Chris was just saying, like, to just be walked over, innit? Like, it doesn't mean. Do you remember how it's like, how I say, like, at a time everyone there was a time where you were just thinking, fam, like, cool, I want to be a Christian, but, like, that still doesn't mean I want to be treated like a dickhead. You know what I'm saying? Or like, automatically that means that fam, if someone slaps me, I have to let them slap me again. Do you get
Yeah.
what I'm saying? No, that doesn't have to be the case per se. But yeah, it's just about how we kind of manage and kind of move around that.
And to be fair, like, because I'm sure someone might not be thinking in their head, oh, but what about the verse that says that if someone slaps your cheek, then you should kind of offer them up the other. I feel like how I kind of understand or contextualize that, at least in this sense, is that cool. When it comes to maybe some sort of disrespect, doesn't necessarily mean that after you slap me, I have to slap you. Or after you've maybe insulted me, I have to insult you. Like, there might be, as a Christian, a way that I might like cheekily kind of put you in your place. Or, as I said, when it comes to saying no or setting boundaries, just kind of being like, don't do that sort of thing. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I feel like there's still definitely a level of sternness, like, that we are supposed to live our lives by. Jesus even went into the temple and was flipping tables because there was a standard that wasn't being met. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I feel like in everything, when it comes to saying no, I feel that's also in regards to setting boundaries for ourselves. That, okay, cool. I know that I've been doing a lot of work and I'm asked to take on more, but I know that my limit of overcapacity is 20%. So if I know it's going to be above that, as a boundary, I'm going to say no. Church, friends, family, whatever, because all of these things, particularly when it comes to things that are close to home, I feel like everyone you give a bit more, right? If it's your family asks something, but it's not your G, you'll give a bit more. If it's church, you're thinking that. But like, imagine if Pastor hadn't taken a break for like 20 years of his preaching, or sorry,
Ministry.
of his ministry, just because I'm a pastor. Doesn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, so I feel like when it's saying no as well, like looking at like, okay, cool, what's the longevity of this? What's the impact going to be? Not just I'm giving myself and I'm trying, because obviously there's also, as I said, times where you're going to be asked to give more, but do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like someone might be thinking, right, but do you know what I mean? Like, we're supposed to give, or what about the slapping thing? For like, yeah, man, just knowing yourself and it. Boundaries, I think, is the main thing, for sure.
Yeah, man. 2023 gonna be an interesting one. But yeah, what you gonna say, Sam?
Yeah, I was gonna say you just sounded bare tired for already, fam. But yeah, anything you man are like, any fun things you guys are like aiming to do or want to do?
Probably travel best though.
Me?
I've travelled to a few places.
What, 20 next year? Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, nah. I hear the traveling thing. I wanna experience a bit of that. I definitely wanna touch a couple more stadiums, like Europe wise.
Yeah.
Like just touch a few. I feel like traveling, I don't mind. Like I definitely wanna do that, but like if it's something that's Europe that's a bit more touristy, or if there's Italy, bruv, I'm hitting up Milan.
Yeah.
I'm hitting up Rome.
I can't like, do you know what it is? Yeah, I was chatting to someone about Milan the other day because I'm probably gonna go there like early next year. So I was talking to someone about it the other day. I knew they'd been to Italy, but I didn't know where exactly it was, innit? She was just like, basically, if it's Milan that you're talking about, like, don't go still.
Racism.
Yeah,
It depends where you go. It depends where you go. Still,
I don't think they didn't mention the racism. They just said it wasn't that pattern sort of thing, innit?
Oh, sorry, like it was
Yeah,
good.
but obviously you hear other people saying that it's alright. It's obviously because it's just over there.
Yeah.
Like it's alright, innit? Which is actually crazy. Funny enough, like I had some like family friends basically come see us from Australia, innit? The other day, yeah. But it's crazy just the different ways that we'll think about stuff. Because obviously they've been there for like 3 weeks, innit? I think they went back the other day. They've been there for 3 weeks, and obviously during that time they went around Europe sort of thing, and they were like, "Raw, like, you know, got to see France or whatever." We're just kind of like, "Oh, that's nice," sort of thing, because it's obviously just over there for us.
Yeah,
but for them, they were saying that, yeah, Bali and all these things that are top occasions. Said at one point, like where they live, it was cheaper to go to Bali than to go to the other side of Australia.
Swear.
So it was literally just like going Bali, like they were even like, fam, like if someone said they're doing a honeymoon in Bali, they were like, "Raw, you broke." like it's literally that because it's just over there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying, all Bali, Singapore, Japan, everything is because literally just it's the same Australasia, if you want to say that, innit? So yeah, man. So yeah, traveling is definitely up there as well, I'd say. But I'm actually trying to be like, so like even the Milan thing I'm doing with a few of my friends, like I'm even trying to like plan it myself.
Oh, you?
Yeah.
You?
In terms of actually, you can say that.
Yeah.
In 2023, don't say that again, bro.
Yeah.
Boundaries, innit? As I was saying. Nah, I played.
This guy thinks he's got authority, fam.
What's it? I do in the spiritual. Yeah. Because of God. Because of God and God alone. For anybody tries to.
It's spiritual. The lion and the lamb. Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. So just because it's like, I feel like when you say you want to travel, yeah, you can do the thing where like, yeah, I want to do this, do that, and then nothing happens in it. Yeah. So like once I've already seen that, like the convoys happen, I'm gonna ask you once more, like, are you sure? And then I just went out to look for better stuff. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So
That's like happened when we went Napa. That's like happened.
When what?
When we went Napa.
Yeah, but yeah.
What do you mean?
We went there. We didn't know what was doing.
Oh yeah. Basically planned it there.
Yeah.
No, but we had an idea. We just didn't like. To be fair, we didn't really.
Yeah, so like luckily it was kind of the girls that kind of had the.
Yeah.
If they didn't find certain activities, I can't lie, it would have been like. So like, but before we party, what's left in it? But yeah, no, I definitely hear that, and it's just about. Do you remember what we were talking about on that episode? Like saying something and doing it, like is a flex basically. Sticking to your word, innit?
Yeah. 100%.
So like knowing like. And that kind of comes on that same kind of vibe if you kind of deep it, like knowing, alright, cool. Let's say, for example, alright, cool. Chris said, yeah, cool, we're doing this. So that means, fam, this thing is actually in motion. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, do you get what I'm saying?
In motion.
You guys know about motion, man. Do you get what I mean? Like, yeah, shout out Little Baby. Yeah. But, what's it called? Yeah, that kind of vibe of just like, bro, listen, I'm going to ask you twice and then that's it. Like, this is happening. I'm not here. No backsies, no backsies kind of vibe.
Because then after that, like, I'm gonna feel like my time's been wasted because I've actually like it's been in my mind. I might have like mentally budgeted already something. Do you know what I mean?
So yeah, like that's like my boys. I say, what's it called? They just said, listen, yeah. One of my boys is just like, I'm going somewhere innit, and I'm Gara going. But if you wanna come, that's cool innit.
Yeah.
But you not coming is not gonna change my opinion of coming, because it's like, fam, I'm not gonna you can't rely when it comes to stuff like traveling, you can't rely on people to get life in general. Like sometimes I'll be real, when it comes to traveling, sometimes all you need is one person that's down.
100.
Like you just need one person
100.
and then you're set good. Like so my two boys, they're flying out somewhere.
Yeah.
And it was just like, fam, like, bro, I'm ready. Like, bro, are you on? Yeah, I'm on. And then whoever wants to come, you can come in. But
you are now listening to the Still Changing podcast with Sam Sinclair, Chris Capo, and Akin. Keep it locked.